we doing this live, or do you guys edit after?
We do it live, but we also edit after, just in case anything's too ridiculous.
Oh boy.
Also, we just went live.
Yeah, we also just went live.
Oh, well then this was on purpose.
Yes, definitely. Just went live.
Oh,
Shit,
well
not
then
again.
this was on purpose.
I always do that. Damn it.
There's my doppelganger.
Oh, man. Okay, just play the
Thank you,
intro.
Luis. We are doing it live. All right.
No place to hide. No place to run. No place to run. Mutant age has now begun.
I'm telling you, man, this is 3 days grace.
Magneto's hordes are on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder. But there's one team that will not yield, the team that strikes like thunder. X-Men, X-Men, this is the day, this is the day. X-Men, X-Men, carnage your way.
That was beautiful.
Excellent.
Anyway, welcome to Straight Outta Austin. This is Prometheus,
This is Agamemnon.
and we are joined by the lovely Sarah Money.
Hello.
Hey, we're very excited to have you here. Sorry about the technical issues.
Yeah. Blame it on Magneto and his sweet 90s music that was happening.
I tell you, that's 3 days grace right there. Has to be.
Yeah, that was part of his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants trying to sabotage this podcast, but we won't let them. We'll
We will
persevere. So, we met you at the Alamo City Comic Con in November. So, what's been going on in the world of ceremony since then?
Well, exciting news. I will be back this year to Alamo City, so I'm super excited.
Awesome.
Yay.
So, woo, yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again and hang out, and I will be bringing a fresh new crop of costumes with me. So, until then, we've got the good part of a year. Phoenix Comic Con's coming up in my hometown,
Nice.
and then I believe an anime con that will be in Tucson will be a little bit before that and after. So, we'll have some anime sandwiching the big comic event before I go back to Alamo City.
That sounds fantastic. What brought you up to Alamo City, being based out of Phoenix?
I actually was invited out. The owner of the con saw a few of my costumes and saw some of my work at 2013's PCC and invited me out. And I was absolutely over the moon about it because I'd never had an invitation anywhere before. So it was my first invited to con, and hopefully not the last. Well, it's not, 'cause I'm going back.
There you go. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, so yeah, any more that are across the country. I mean, I'll go anywhere where I'm requested. I love to travel, so that's not even an issue. So if there's someplace you want to see me, I want to be there. So
Well, the invitation is definitely well reserved, or reserved. Yeah.
serve too. Well then,
Yes, all of those, everything that rhymes with that word. But I mean, yeah, your cosplay is awesome. Like I said, when we ran into you and you're sporting the Polaris, and I was just like,
I remember turning the cheek and I was like, dude, is that X-Men Task Polaris right there? And he was like, I think it is. Like, let's go.
you had it right. We have to hunt her
Dispatch.
down. Yeah, you had it right.
yeah. No, I'm so excited because it's not a costume that I've seen done before, and Polaris isn't cosplayed that often either.
No.
And I don't know why, because she's awesome. Granted, she's written kind of inconsistently over the years, but still, daughter of Magneto that has his powers and super odd lime green hair. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the green hair alone is a winner for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just finished a Sailor Pluto cosplay, and I have dark green hair. So I think green is just going to stick with me.
I was going to ask you about that because I was wondering why you chose Sailor Pluto of all the Sailor Scouts.
Because she's the coolest one.
But
yeah.
what makes her so cool?
Yeah, what draws you to her?
Pluto isn't a planet, but
Oh.
she's the oldest, and she's the most mature of the Senshi and the most powerful. I mean, if you have a giant key that's bigger than you that controls or unlocks the door of a time and space, and you guard said door, that That does it for me.
That does ball pretty hard. And
So-
in my heart, Pluto will always be a planet. I don't care what those scientists say.
Yeah, whatever. Forget them.
Yeah, what do they know?
They don't know anything about me and my sweet garnet rod, and I can sit around texting Heimdall and the doctor all the time.
Nice.
That's the company I keep.
Excellent. I wanted to ask you. You said people can request you for comic conventions and events. How do people go about doing that?
They can just go to any one of my social media outlets. I check everything. I am on Twitter at Crayola Kid with a K, Instagram at Ceremony Cosplay, and my website, ceremonycosplay.com.
Nice.
So any one of those, I look and respond to everything, all the comments. I figure if people take the time to check me out and like what I do, the least I can do is respond.
That's awesome. Yeah, because we're really hoping to see if we can try and get you out for the Wizard World Austin.
Yes, I would love to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this year all we had was Ivy Doom Kitty, who was pretty cool.
Yeah, but she's part of the whole Wizard World package.
Oh, is she?
So I think, what's her name? Sarah Underwood. She was part of the old G4 Attack of the Show crew. And then Stan Lee. And there was a couple other, I think one person from The Walking Dead. But they were part of the whole Wizard World.
Carl.
Yeah, they were part of the whole Wizard World tour, so they were going to be at literally every Wizard World. And I think that's still going on with at least Stan Lee and Ivy Doom Kitty, because I think they were just at
New Orleans.
That one that's in Seattle. Not Seattle, Portland.
Not New Orleans.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, if they could squeeze me in. My thing is, I don't even have to have a booth. I can just go there just to work with the photographers, because that's part of what I did at Alamo City.
Oh, okay.
Because, having the booth is cool, because it's a central place to meet people and take pictures and all that jazz. But if you get to walk around with people and you get to see more, and they get to have pictures, and so if you're working with the con photographers, the people that want pictures can get nice stuff, and they can get it printed out, and it helps out the con, and that's what I appreciate, since they're helping me out and making me a part of their convention.
That is a really good point that you make, because when we ran into you, we were like, oh man, that's so cool. We were just able to do a quick couple photos with you, and then later on we actually we had to trail you down, and we're like, we got to get an interview with her.
We really were. We were just scouring the entire convention, because I think you had handed me a card. I'm like, oh, she has a website and all that. Let's try and get an interview. And then so we're just hunting through let's find neon green hair.
We found a lot actually, but then we finally found it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we turn around. Nah, wrong one. Keep going.
That's awesome. Well, I think there was an Aphrodite maybe.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Just someone with naturally green hair. This is just
I think there was even a
looks.
poison ivy with green hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, but compared to what you were doing, and we were able just to get a quick interview with you on the spot. You were like, oh yeah, cool, and then a couple of pictures. But there was Nadia Sonica and Marie Doll were also there. They had their booths, and we got interviews with them, and it was cool, and they were really cool about it. But it's can you guys wait? Because I'm kind of trying to make money here, because they're selling their prints and all that stuff. So it's you don't want to get in the way of that. It was we couldn't exactly get in the con really early to get the interviews ahead of time, and even then they'd probably be really groggy. I'm really groggy, so I would just assume that everybody hates
one eye
mornings.
open. Can I take your picture?
I'm with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely see the benefits there. But with that said, would you ever knock actually having a booth and selling prints?
I have an online store for prints, and that's just ceremony.storenv.com, because it enables me to kind of do both, so I can still have the prints available online and walk around at conventions. I think it would depend on the type of convention, since I'm also a member of the Arizona Avengers, and we're a charity group, a charity cosplay Marvel group, and we get, as a group, invited to local conventions, and so if the Avengers have a booth there, then I would never want to mix, my things with charity things, because I want to keep the two definitely separate.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, if it's a smaller event, we have something called Geeks Night Out that's coming up the end of this week, and that's really just kind of a local thing with vendors. So I'll have a few with me on hand there, but for the most part, I like the the online is good. So a little bit of both to mix and match. I just don't want to be chained down to a table, and then it's hard because if you do step away or take a break, someone's got to watch the table and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. Being tethered to one of the tables at a Comic-Con is not always the most fun experience.
Especially if you bring your stuff. You know, like we live locally, so that there's no reason for us to get like a hotel. So we had to bring our laptop and all that other good stuff. And, you know, it was really cold that time, and so we had our jackets. So had everything sitting down there. So my wife and my brother are sitting there at different points, like watching all the stuff while we try to go around to the floor. And then at other points, it's like everyone's kind of just running shifts. Like watch the stuff, man the table, and then the other team will go out and get interviews and buy some comics and shit while we're there.
Yeah, we have them do all the not fun work. We're like, all right, you guys watch the table. We're going to actually go have fun and interview people and take pictures. But thanks for coming along.
Somebody's got to be the mule.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had brought up the Arizona Avengers. Can you tell us about your involvement with them?
Yeah, I joined in 2012. I was recruited at, I think it was PCC of 2011. And one of the members was like, they saw me in my Storm cosplay, and they were like, oh, you know, you look great. This is what we do. We'd love to have, you know, we're always looking for new members and things. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Found out a little bit more about them and what they do, and I joined. And since then, it has been fantastic. We center around kids and literacy in children by way of comic books and things to really get kids excited. And we work with charities like Kids Need to Read and some of the local hospitals that are here in Arizona. And I absolutely love it. And we have events all the time. Probably one of my favorite moments, we were at the hospital it was all these children that have gone through heart surgeries. It was the cardiac unit.
Oh, wow.
And I was dressed up actually in Polaris, and we had a few other X-Men and some Avengers. And our Tony Stark was approached by this tiny 3-year-old boy, and he pulls like the collar of his shirt down, and he has this scar incision of where he had heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
And he points up to Iron Man's arc reactor, and he's like, I'm just like you.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And I'm like, oh my God.
All the feels.
Hashtag feels, all caps. It was just, it was coming down hard. I'm like, my contacts are getting really dry.
I have something in my eye. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
It's circle lenses. It's them.
Yeah. But yeah, that's fantastic. That just sounds so rewarding. You know, I think it's great that you get to do something that you're very passionate about, but at the same time, you know, you can really just make people just really happy and really inspire people at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not all that. Like most of what we do is charity for kids, and like we'll do toy drives and things like that. But then we do our geeky stuff too, like free comic book days coming up. Obviously, all the cons. Local shops and comic book shops that want us out there will make appearance just to have fun, take pictures with everyone, and really interact with a way that's more personal than sometimes the bigger conventions can be.
That's fantastic. I wanted to ask you about, you had posted a video, I think it was your first video shoot with Nightingale Comics.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Haphazard and impromptu.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Wayne Gardner is the creator of Nightingale, and he's a local writer here. And he's had the franchise for a couple years now. It's really great. And he has the two main characters that are usually in cosplay at events that that he's attending. And on that particular day at Amazing Arizona Con, I was cosplaying as one of the characters, Kaylee. Not the official one. I put official in quotes because there are like official cosplayers, but they're the real ones. It's hard to explain, but the real one wasn't there, so I was cosplaying as the Kaylee character, and we hang out at the booth and talk to people, talk about the story, and go outside to take a few pictures, which is pretty routine. And we go out there, and it's beautiful. I mean, if any of you have ever been to Southern Arizona, January, it's like perfect, like 70 degrees.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I've been to Arizona in a long time.
Oh, well, you got to come back.
I know. I actually grew up in Phoenix up until, I think I was there up until 8th grade, and I haven't been back since, so it's been a while for me.
We'll come back here and go to high school.
yeah, right.
Yep, left off.
I got to get that GED. Good enough diploma.
Yeah, so we go outside, and it's beautiful out, and there's about 4 photographers that are out there, and all of a sudden they just start jumping in with pictures and everything, and so Wayne comes out, the creator, and he's just starts filming. I did not know he was filming. I thought he was taking pictures. Sneaky. But yeah, watching it, it's so funny because I'm like, this is meant to be like so intense, but at the time that it's happening, it's it's so much going on. If you have like a couple lenses, and it's like, all right, one pose for each, and then sprinkler head for you, back to the front, okay, different pose. So seeing it in a video, and like, wow, this makes it look so cool. I didn't know. Yeah, but it was a really cool experience. I'm glad that people respond well to me as the character, in addition to the girl who is the official character.
Gotcha.
So, I like it. I'm glad.
I'm not all that familiar with the character, but you definitely did it justice. And I think that's interesting because I didn't realize that you didn't know that it was video because it looked very like professional. Like it looked like you really knew what was going on. So it's kind of cool how that ended up turning out.
That's my secret.
Yeah, the secret is to not know.
Yeah, keeps everybody on your toes, especially me.
Yeah, most definitely. Alrighty, well, I think we're gonna get into some of these topics, and I'll probably just kind of gradually maybe just throw in a few more questions, but we'll go ahead and go with the talk of the town, what everyone's wanted to talk about, the Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
Woo-hoo!
yeah, so they released a couple stills. We get to see Gamora and Groot and Rocket Raccoon. So, what do you think of the? I don't know. What are your perceptions? What do you expect from the movie?
I am Groot.
I am Groot just repeated at least 57 times.
There you go.
Honestly, I have all the expectation in the world. I feel like they can't really do anything wrong, just in the sense that the cast itself, to people who are non-Marvel, are not even like they're not ready, and that just it kills me because they're just as far-fetched as any other superhero movie ever in life. But it's like, but because it's a tree and a raccoon, can't accept it. I can deal with the green skin. Okay, Star Trek, I've been here before, but you know, Nico and Grandmother Willow, I don't know if I can handle it. So, I think it's going to be over the top in the very best way, and I think everyone looks great for the modern versions of their characters in the current run of Guardians. Of course, I'm sure we're not seeing like the best pictures of how it's going to look in the movie, because some of them kind of look kind of grainy. Like I think Drax doesn't really even look green.
Yeah, he's kind of
gray.
Yeah, kind of pinkish gray.
So I'm like, okay, that's
Maybe it's like
weird.
Gray Drax or something.
Maybe
like
he's sick.
Hulk.
He's sick, so he's not green.
It could be. Yeah, he just turns like a flesh baby.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm fine. But no, I think it's going to be really intense. I think that Marvel did their baby steps into the franchise nicely. I mean, if you just look at from the first Thor to the second, how much the universe has grown, and then with Avengers as a bridge, so people are like, okay, we're going to accept aliens now. Okay, we're accepting, who we find out to be Thanos for the people that don't know, and it's slowly going that way. And it can only get better from here, and by better, I mean magic, and I mean Doctor Strange has to show up. So it's just going to be so nice being able to, or hopefully being able to see all these other characters that are bound by even more incredible things like, alien races and magic and all these crazy people in the universe that aren't showcased that often.
Yeah, I think that's what Marvel has done really well. You know, I mean, granted, the Avengers were known fairly well, but they weren't really like Marvel's A-list, you know, stars. It's like that was always like Wolverine and Spider-Man, and not having those properties for the movies. They're like, all right, well, we're gonna make Iron Man a star, and I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is definitely gonna follow in those footsteps where it's like very like quirky, not very mainstream, but I think that it's gonna be like a lot of fun because it's just so crazy of like a cast. Like you said, there's a talking tree and a raccoon.
He's not a raccoon.
Well, a space raccoon.
Yeah, that's in a rocket yelling at everyone.
Yeah. And he's Bradley Cooper. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and you know, I had mentioned before we went on air. You know, I've actually not read any of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. But
It's good.
yeah, that's what I hear.
It's good. It's fun. For Bendis,
I was about to
it's
say
fun.
it is Bendis, so I approached that with caution.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about Bendis there, but I have a big love-hate, more emphasis on hate relationship with Brian Michael Bendis.
I have to go by title, so
Okay.
I try to tune out certain, except for Kieran Gillen because he can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, he is pretty good. He's good sauce.
So what Marvel comics do you tend to keep up with?
Right now, if you were to look at my pull list, all new X Factor, obviously.
Heh.
So I can get my Lorna fix. Amazing X-Men, regular X-Men. What else? For new releases, the all-new Black Widow, all-new She-Hulk, and Loki, Agent of Asgard. And what else? Obviously Guardians. I think that's it for new titles and new releases.
All right, I'm curious. Did you read Battle of the Atom?
That crossover ruined my X-Men, and I was a little bit bitter. I thought it was a little odd. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it.
Thank you, because that's how I felt. I read it, and I was so angry because like all new X-Men started off so good, and I'm like, oh man, Bendis, you're doing such a great job. Like I'm just waiting for the kick in the pills, and then it's like they're like 12 issues in. It's like, how about a crossover, guys? And it's like, remember when we brought those X-Men from the past? Now let's bring some from the future too. And then it's like building up to this whole huge like universe shifting event, and then there's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
it was so anticlimactic. It's just like, Sentinels, really? Like, come on, it's so 90s, guys. So 80s.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I think it happened only like at issue 5 or something, because it was all fine and good, and it was I think issue 4 was the one with Jubilee and Wolverine on the cover, and then I think it was the issue after that the Battle of the Atom came in, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, because they had like that one shot with the Jubilee and Wolverine. It just annoyed me because like they didn't even stick to their own continuity, where the whole thing was like, okay, we can't send them back to the past for an unexplained reason.
Even though people can go in and out of the past,
Yeah.
time travel whenever the hell they
And
do.
they're like, we got to change the future, even though that they've already established that creates like a time paradox,
Yeah.
and you can't change it. But they did.
like Bishop and Cable are just like, whatever.
That was the thing too, because they even had a scene with like Rachel Gray, and she's like, "Yeah, by that logic, I shouldn't be here." Moving on.
Hey guys, you know who my mom is.
That's the thing too. It's like the majority of the time displaced characters are all like related to like Scott or Jean, because like now they're having like the young Cyclops like solo series. It's like, all right, we already had Cable, X-Man, Rachel Summers. It's like, how much of this dude's like genetic codes is going to be spread throughout the timeline? It's just unnecessary.
He's a whore.
Yeah, basically.
He's a time traveling whore bag.
Seriously.
So I don't know. I just had to vent because I read it.
No.
And I wanted to like it so bad, and I just couldn't.
Yeah. And there's so many, like, I love my mutants. Everyone knows, like, I have half of my costumes are X-Men related, and there's gonna be more.
Yes.
But there are some titles that I'm like, okay, you're squeezing so much to get a little bit. It's like, go, like, let's expand. Let's explore these characters that haven't had their time to shine. Like, let's leave the Gray and Summers franchise alone. Them and their crazy Brady Bunch family of time displacement.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, it's like the way the movies, it's like all about Wolverine. It seems like the comics, it's all about like Cyclops and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Well, and Wolverine, since he's in like 5 different titles.
Yeah. Don't even get me started. I love Logan. I do, but it's just like intense saturation makes me hate him.
Yes. Like, did you read Astonishing X-Men?
I think I jumped in. It was like 20 issues in, because I think Future Foundation, Fantastic Four was mixed in with that.
Oh, okay.
And it was okay. It was but I liked the art and I liked the variety of characters that were in the entire series, so I picked up a couple, but I wasn't as avidly reading as I am with a couple of these other series.
Gotcha. Yeah, just bring that up because, like, I felt like the way Wolverine was written, like, he was very downplayed. Like, it wasn't like Wolverine's got to save the day all the time. Like, if anything, he was just getting his ass kicked a lot, and just.
Well, there was like, I wasn't collecting any of that Battle of the Atom stuff. I was just creating. I was creating it. I'll take credit for it.
I was creating.
No, I was just
universe.
collecting Plain X-Men and Uncanny X-Force, and I was happy Uncanny X-Force had nothing to do with it because they were still in the middle of a intense story, which was it was okay, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch. It had good fun fight scenes, and it had like Psylocke and Spiral and them two battling. Yeah, that was just cool. Like the animosity between the two of them that I didn't know existed because I haven't read X books since I was like a little kid. So I finally picked up like 2, and those were the 2. But then I was reading Adjectiveless X-Men, and they wrapped up that whole Archaea thing like in 4 issues, and that kind of dude, she's supposed to be just as horrible as John Sublime. And when Grant Morrison first wrote Sublime, it was like really eerie. It was like a subliminal plot detail. It was just really on the low key, and then it just hits you out of nowhere. Like, oh wow, this has been building up since like issue 3 or 4 or something like that throughout this whole 60 issue series. And then he's just like major player. But with Archaea, it's like, yeah, she's like me, but with technology, and technology's everywhere. So it's like, oh my god, she's a double threat. And like they dispatch her in like 2 issues, and I was like, what?
Yeah, they build it up, and you're like, oh my god, how are they gonna beat her? And then just like Cyblade, done, drop the mic.
And then they put her on a freaking motherboard, and then put it in like special plastic. I'm pretty sure it was Ziploc. What's up?
Well, now she's paying her weight in alien evil bacteria.
Well, that was the thing. Is like then an issue 5, I think, was like a one shot with Wolverine and Jubilee, and he bought her old house, and I was like, oh, that's like a throwback to the first episode of X-Men Taz.
Yeah.
So I was all excited, and it was an okay issue. And then the next issue, I was all confused because there's like a Mystique dude, like a blue guy cosplaying as Mystique with Wolverine claws, and then I had to ask Prometheus here, like, what was that all about? Yeah, and then there was like 3 beasts.
There were 4 Icemen.
There was 4 Icemen, and there was like an emo Cyclops with the new emo Cyclops,
and Lady Zorn.
Lady Zorn, which was Jean Grey, and I was just like, even now talking about it, I'm just like overwhelmed and exhausted, and I was like, what is going on here? And I had no clue. I was like, what happened? And then I went back to the store because I didn't have all my issues. I was in the middle of moving, so I went back and I was like, hey man, did I miss a comic? Because there's all this stuff going on in this issue, and the last one I read was just about Jubilee and Wolverine. They're like, no, yeah, it's part of the Battle of the Atom crossover. I was like, oh. And they put this in regular X-Men? I was like, yeah, they do it all the time. I was like, yeah, well, it's kind of lame. I don't like it. And I'm confused. Is there anything that goes along with this? Like, yeah, it's like you have to get the other X-Men titles and stuff. It's like, oh, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then the next issue was just, it was some Colombian chick. And then, like, the Mask of Death thing, and it was Lady Deathstrike. And I was like, oh, man, come on. You could play out this generic stuff again. And I was just, it was, like, okay until it had until they threw all the cartel stuff in. I was like, why is it, if they're Colombian, they always got to be in a cartel? All the time.
Not all Colombians are drug lords, but I am.
Yeah, but we are. So I don't know. I just kind of stopped there. I was like, this isn't fun. Oh, and then Archaea's dead. Like they were gonna collect Archaea, John Sublime's evil sister that controls all technology, so that Lady Deathstrike could have like the best upgrades in the planet. And then John Sublime is in that room with them,
Mm.
with that Colombian / Deathstrike chick in her cartel blood money mansion. and I guess Psylocke was trailing them with their psychic's trail or whatever. And then she's like, I don't know, it was like some cheesy 80s movie thing. It's like, I'm going to unlock this Ziploc bag. And he was like, I wouldn't advise that. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm about to do it right now. No one's here to stop me. And you think something's going to happen. And John Sublime's sitting there like, I would strongly advise against that. It's like the Windows thing. Like, you sure you don't want me to be your default browser? I'm kind of here. I've kind of like installed your system.
Last time, no Internet
It's like,
Explorer.
no, I'm doing my own thing. And then they unlock it, and then they put it in the back of her neck like Ghost in the Shell style or something, and nothing happens. It's like, Archaea's dead. I was like, what?
It's like the hard drive
How
crashed.
did she die?
They didn't put it in one of those little static-proof bags.
She survived entry into the atmosphere on a rock, and she died in a Ziploc bag.
Well, apparently putting it in a Western Digital hard drive it doesn't work like that.
I don't know if you feel the same way, Sarah, but
Do I know what?
I said I don't know if you feel the same way I do. It just seemed like really.
I don't own any Western Digital, so
Oh.
Consider yourself fortunate.
yeah.
Luis.
Oh, I know. I'm saving myself mental breakdown and extreme data loss.
Well, Luis in the chat here says you need to keep reading on because I guess it gets better.
Yes, I was about to say it. I was like, yeah, let her have her deal, but it gets better and redeemable. Which, I guess, in the stream of a storyline, you need your peaks and valleys to make it like, oh, okay.
Okay. I got
Pseudo
you.
resolution. Oh, everything's fine. Wait, no, it's not. Oh my god, what's happening? Like, so there's a few moments of that, and there is a new addition to the team. I will not say on the hero or villain side, but I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, because I think the last issue I had was 9 or 10, and I don't know who any of the two new people are. Well, other than Karima, but the other chick, I forget her name, but I guess she was like
Monet St. Croix.
Maybe she's like a Jubilee's like arch frenemy, or I don't know how you would say that. They seem like they're friends, but they like hate each other. They're like really catty with
Like
each
Mean
other.
Girls.
Yeah, like Mean Girls.
Uh-oh.
Jubilee's stepfather. And
She's a psychic too, though.
Yeah, she used to be on the old X Factor. team.
Oh, okay. So she's an old school character too, like Jubilee.
Louis says that's M.
M. Okay.
Yeah, M. Well,
Well-
yeah, Monet St. Croix is her name, but yeah, she just goes by M, and she's a telepath, and she's a Muslim. So I think that's kind of cool that with the relaunch. Oh, that's the other one of Miss Marvel,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kamala coming out. So picking up a comic and seeing like 4 different types of people of color in one comic is a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah, and see, that was gonna say like that was the cool thing. It's like, oh, finally minorities. I'm a minority, and there's a book with minorities. But then the whole Colombian thing like threw me off. I was like, stereotypes. Damn it. Why?
They did it again. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Ah, shucks. Yeah, it was kind of
If
like.
they put, huh?
Oh, good.
Oh no.
No, I was just gonna bring up like Mighty Avengers. Like when I first saw the cover to that one, I was like, "There's a lot of black people in this issue." I wonder if that's intentional. It was just like because like with most comics, it's like there's maybe one, maybe two, and like it was just like kind of jarring at first. I was just like, I don't know. It was just weird. It's just like, are they trying to make this like the Minority Avengers, or is this like just like, or did they or just really?
Oh, you're
like,
talking about New Avengers.
Yeah, or no? I thought it was Mighty Avengers, wasn't it? With,
Mighty had like Ares, Black Widow,
okay, maybe it's New Avengers.
Iron Man,
Well, whichever one it was. It was the one that had
all the white
Superior Spider-Man.
powerhouses, pretty much. It was. I think they even had Wonder Man for a minute. I think they even had Wonder Man for a hot minute.
Okay, yeah. The new Mighty Avengers.
Oh, okay.
I can't keep up with this stuff. The new Ultimate Mighty Avengers.
Extreme, astonishing, every adjective ever.
Yeah.
I feel like they just kind of like open up a thesaurus and they're like, all right, let's just stick on as many things as we can to X-Men and Avengers, and there's our titles till 2017. Done.
I think that is really their strategy. It's just ridiculous now where they're like, well, we ran out, so we're just going to put Uncanny on Avengers, Mighty on X-Men, and we got a whole new decade's worth of titles.
Yeah, boom, done.
Yeah. It's like, we won't go bankrupt this time, guys. We got this on lock. But I'm curious about all new X Factor. I haven't read that at all, but how is that going?
It is, it's only 3 issues in. Polaris is leading the team, like a boss, and her crazy half-brother, who I equally love, Quicksilver, is in it.
Oh, nice.
Gambit, yeah. I can totally get down with some Pietro, and he's not disappointing. He cracks me up in almost every panel he's in. And, yeah, it's got this really, like, I don't know how to put it. Like, I want to say 90s, but not in a bad way, but just, like, 90s action movie, like, we have to infiltrate this type of thing, but it's done in an interesting way. I don't know, it seems more believable, I guess. Like, I like the approach that they're taking it so far. Anytime there's, like, an organization, like you have, like, Oscorp or Stark Industries, I feel like it grounds the story a little bit, because it's like, people can wrap their minds around, a corporation, and then how much money and power and people can be involved in that. I feel like it makes villainy easier. Same thing with AIM. Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Yeah.
So, Serval Industries is what we learn about in this one. And
They're the villain.
Hmm?
They're the villain.
The villain is basically experimenting on mutants.
Okay.
So, it has this, scientific front and, research facility, and then X Factor gets the word on what they're actually doing, and that's what they're in the process of stopping right now.
Nice. Yeah, I might have to check that one out. It's been a while since I've read any titles that's actually had Gambit in it. And, like, I've been waiting. It's like, because Gambit's one of my favorite X-Men. It's like, he never gets any real time to shine.
Yeah, I was disappointed by his solo.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I didn't hear it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you're missing nothing. So, yeah, pick up X Factor.
Yeah, I'll just skip right into that. So.
Yeah, it's better. I think he works better on a team with other people, so his sass can be amplified.
Yeah, so he can actually have people to annoy, and you can root for him.
Yeah, that's right,
yes.
Mon ami.
Pick on Wolverine, please.
That was always my favorite thing about the animated series, was just like him and Wolverine just like constantly trying to kill each other. Just like they couldn't be in the room together for like more than a few seconds before Gambit's lighting up a car and Wolverine's popping the claws and they're about to rumble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, much rumbling.
Yeah,
Much rumbling.
most definitely. So I found a topic. It's pretty much like a rumor that supposedly once they're done with Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not going to do a sequel, and they're just going to go straight into Doctor Strange. But
Okay.
With the Guardians of the Galaxy?
what's that?
With the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know if it'll be related, but supposedly they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do Doctor Strange. But I mean, obviously these rumors, so many of these are just like so unsubstantiated and so unfounded. But it's kind of like
that's a load of horse crap when
they get like
when and if that movie brings in like
yeah.
because how much money are they putting into the movie?
A lot.
50 million something.
Yeah, and so if that brings in like
Space
400
Marine.
million, yeah, of course they're gonna make a sequel.
Yeah, I don't know. Because one of those things is like, if it's true, it's bittersweet. Because it's like, yeah, that would suck for them to do this awesome movie, and it's like, yeah, we're not going to do another one. Which obviously they're going to. But I mean, the fact that Doctor Strange is being thrown around again, that's something people have been looking forward to for a long time.
I am.
Well, what would you envision for a Doctor Strange movie? Because I know he's had a couple solo titles, but he's usually one of those characters that works more, in a team dynamic.
Yes. I think when Avengers 2 shows up, and then we get Scarlet doing her thing, Scarlet Witch, not Johansson. Sorry, I was like,
Actually, you can always do her thing.
When Wanda Maximoff is doing her thing, and we see, hopefully, a good amount of her arcane abilities and what she can do, it will get people acclimated to what Strange's capabilities will be. And there's a scene, actually, in or a panel in Guardians where there's kind of like this like galactic meeting of all of these planets, and Star-Lord's dad is like, all right, we gotta, calm everybody down. Let's not try and destroy the Earth because for plot points that I don't want to reveal, because I definitely want you to read it because it's good. And there's like this screen that they bring up, and he's like, you guys want to mess with the one planet that contains citizens that can either house the Phoenix Force, create new realities, and there's a sorcerer that is a master in arcane magic that can't even really be controlled. Like, these are the people that you want to mess with. This is what you want to do. And so it was like a Strange, Scarlet Witch, obviously Jean Grey, and I think it even pulled up like Doctor Doom, and people, like, it was some of the villains too. They're like, yeah, if it comes down to it, even the ones that aren't allies will still turn against us for to protect their planet. And so everyone, like the Kree were there, the Skrulls were there, the Asgardians were there, and they're just kind of like, yeah, we'll leave Earth alone.
Yeah, when they're teaming up, like, that's when it's bad news. Mm-hmm. Just throw in some Shi'ar and pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
My biggest thing for all this is, like, they get enough properties out, and they have the Netflix deal down the road with what was it, Daredevil, Elektra, or not Elektra.
Daredevil, Iron Fist. What are the other ones?
The other one was basically like Alias.
Yeah, Alias. Was Power Man one of the other ones?
Yeah, Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Yeah, that's right. Sweet Christmas.
Yeah, so with all those down the pipeline, they're gonna have all these properties and stuff. My whole thing is, like, because one of my favorite titles right now, it's probably my second favorite next to Captain Marvel, is Thunderbolts. That's like the best one out to me. Well, second best one out right now, but it's like the coolest team book because you have all these characters that work well on their own. You have Elektra, Punisher, Venom, the new Flash Venom with his legs cut off and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Red Hulk, Thaddeus Ross, and the Leader, who's a classic Hulk villain, and then some chick named Mercy, who's pretty much like a goddess of death. Yeah, she's pretty badass. Like, nothing can kill her, and the only way she can kill you is by you basically begging for death. Like, if you get shot in the face or something, you're like, oh, I wish I could die, and she's like, oh, wish granted, and just takes your soul. So in that sense, she's pretty cool, and that's how she gets her powers. So during the whole Infinity event, they had to do a crossover issue in Thunderbolts, which, after the whole Battle of the Atom thing, I was like, oh man, it's got the Infinity tagline on it. But the way they were doing it, because they were doing a hit for the Punisher, and they just kind of incorporated into the whole hit to where it was like this kind of Guy Ritchie-esque happy accident, the way it all plays out. So it was really cool. But Mercy goes running a town all over Thanos' henchmen up in the sky above Manhattan, while Punisher and Venom and Elektra are kicking the shit out of mafiosos and stuff. And
nice.
Deadpool's eating a slice of pizza. Deadpool's in the title as well. Deadpool's
eating doing something productive. Deadpool's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this pizza.
Yeah.
You guys have fun with all that fighting.
Yeah, it's really cool. So my whole thing is, like, down the road, when they have all these cool movies out and they can just spend the money to just make this, like, dream movie, that would be it. Thunderbolts. Just cast this ragtag group of characters, like, it's almost like it's like a B-list Dreamcast. You know? Where it's just like, I mean, you have Elektra from Daredevil, you have the Punisher from his own, you have Deadpool, who's, well, I mean, you can't really do Deadpool. It'd be awesome if Fox wouldn't be such D-bags, but get Deadpool back. You'd have,
if Sony would let go of Spider, well.
Oh, I wish so.
I know. Well, you got you got Johnny, not Johnny. Yeah, Johnny Storm. Oh, damn, Johnny Storm. Like all the knucklehead wisecrackers.
Yeah.
All with other.
I wish they could just get away
companies.
with ripping off their own characters.
But Thunderbolts would be like the cool title for me to go and see in theaters, where you have like this pretty decent group of actors and stuff play these like really cool like C and B list characters, and just have this kind of like lock, stock, and two smoking barrels approach to it. Because that's really, to me, that's how Thunderbolts really feels like, where nobody really gets along, and they kind of half botch the jobs, more or less thanks to Deadpool. But it's like they still get the thing done in their own, in everybody's own way, and somehow they find a way to work as a team.
Yeah.
Especially when Punisher's not trying to put a bullet in the leader's head.
It's a very beautiful message.
And Deadpool's not trying to put one in his own.
I just think that's like an after-school special. It's like, and we all learned to get along, and Punisher didn't murder us.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, I know, right? It just like zooms out with him like winking.
Yeah.
Louise said there should be a movie about Spider-Man, Human Torch, and Iceman. Just saying.
Oh, wow. We'll throw Clint Barton in there, too, if it's going to be a sassy party.
Oh.
Clint's a little snazzy. He's part snazzy and sassy.
It's quite the combination.
Yep.
Be like sass, snazzy, smile.
That's the only thing that kind of bums me out about the new Captain America movie. It's like, where's Hawkeye in this? Like, shouldn't he be there? Like, I need more Hawkeye in my life.
True.
I think they're still trying to work something through Jeremy Renner.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if they even had plans to put him in there, but all I know is that after Avengers, he was just kind of like, I got paid the least.
well, you did the least, so get out of here.
He did do the least, but he was still really cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I wish he was in it some more. But it's like, the whole movie, I'm a fucking bad guy until the end. That was what he said in it. Well, that wasn't his quote, but
that was
pretty much what he said in an interview. He was like, well, yeah, like, more than half the movie, I was a villain, and I wasn't even in it for that long, and I'm creating chaos for the team that I'm eventually going to tag up with. So
yeah, but that's a Whedon movie.
It is a Whedon movie.
It's good. It makes it more interesting. You got to have conflict because you have to have redemption. You have to have the audience rooting for him. Oh, he's got to come back to the team. I mean, that was Karima for a little bit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So I think it's just like, okay, well, now that that's happened, they've confirmed that they're talking about a Black Widow movie. He has to be in that.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, man.
And you know what? With that, I want to know what happened in Kabul.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's more of like a prequel, and you get to see like, when she's talking about all the terrible things she did.
Oh, Budapest, that's what it was. Not Kabul. I'm thinking of Punisher.
She was there too.
Budapest. She's like, this is just like Budapest. And he's like, we have a very different view of what happened in Budapest.
Yeah, that's the movie that I want to see.
Every time I've seen it, and I've seen it like 10 times already, it's like, every time I see it, I was just like, what happened? What happened? Tell me. The gossip girl in me has to know. I have to know.
Hopefully we'll find out. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of putting the spotlight on other members that help the Avengers that... Technically, they're Avengers in their own right, because if the heroes didn't have the intel, they would kind of be dead in the water a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Without all that. So, I think characters like, Fury, like Widow, and Hawkeye are supremely important. And so it's like, okay, well, let's showcase them, and... Hopefully we better see that Widow is, as enhanced as Cap is. Because a lot of people were complaining and, oh, this girl's trying to fight aliens, this is so unbelievable, da da da. And I'm like, well, if you know her backstory, she's probably over 50, and she can hold her own. And here's why. I'm like, I thought you were just... some spy. I'm like, oh no, there's more to her. She can hold her own.
It's just a funny double standard, because then you could just quote Red. If you go with the movie Red with Helen Mirren's character, she's pushing 70, and she's the top age. I think even in Red 2, she's back in the business. She's the top assassin in the world, kind of thing. It's at its heart. I understand they try to ground it in some form of reality, but. By that same accord, it's it's still not cartoony. I don't want to say cartoony, but it's a comic book movie. It's fantasy at its heart, and in both instances, Avengers and Red, they're just fun movies that you can have fun at. It's like nobody watches James Bond because this is what super secret spying should be all about. No, they watch it because they want to see his Aston Martin fly over on its head and go invisible and shit.
Not only that, if Bond was a real spy, he would be the worst spy ever, because he gets caught every time and he just blows everything up. It's just there's nothing spy related about anything that he does. But I just wanted to read Chrissy Connor's comment in the chat. She says, Hawkeye is great, but come on, we need more female superheroes in these movies. Bring on Widow. Never enough Widow.
Yeah.
So. True. This is an absolute fact. That's why I picked up She-Hulk and Widow's launches and Miss Marvel's because I was like, all right, yes.
No.
Right.
Oh, good.
What? No, She-Hulk?
Yes.
Yes. So, I thought you said the Hulk. I was like, wait, no. Oh.
No, not the Hulk. Yeah, I actually got to pick up She-Hulk. I had put that in my pull list in advance. But what pissed me off is like I didn't know about the Black Widow till like a week ago, and I think all the number ones sold out. Same thing. Well, the Miss Marvel, that was just kind of like apathy on my side, and I hadn't been back to the comic shop in like 4 weeks because I had been in the process of moving and just being real busy. But I'm really mad that I didn't pick up that Miss Marvel because usually when I see new number ones, I'll just pick them up. You know, and you never know in the future they might be worth something. But yeah. That one was one that I genuinely wanted to read. That one and She-Hulk. And then when I found out the Black Widow, and then I was reading a review of it, I think on CBR. Actually, I think I read that one as a link when I was it CBR or Bleeding Cool that did a spotlight on you recently, Sarah?
I think that was Bleeding Cool. They featured America.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay,
Also,
yeah,
I should have said it earlier, but that was probably my favorite cosplay that you do.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I might bring it this year back to Alamo if you guys dig it. Because I didn't wear that one in my lineup, and Pluto.
Cool. Yeah, and I remember seeing that, and either I just refreshed to the main page after I read that article, or it was on the bottom. But I remember reading the review for the Black Widow because I saw that whole link in my feed, and I was reading. I was like, dude, this sounds really awesome. How did I miss it? You know. But yeah, and the cover art's just dope. It's like super like poster worthy. But yeah, I'm kind of mad at myself that I missed it. So
As you should be.
yeah, but I think Luis brought it up a while back that it was really good. Yeah, and as he's saying right now, Phil Noto's art.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this with the titles that you'd mentioned, Sarah, the She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and what was it, Black Widow? Was it Black Widow? Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's like it feels like those characters, especially like to me, it's just like they need to be either like in their own like solo movie or like be included in like the Avengers like as a whole. Like I feel like especially like Ms. Marvel, I think she has like I don't know, I just feel like she has the best energy to fit into that universe like the most.
Absolutely, and especially where they're going. Again, you can talk about the Kree now openly. It's like Marvel's come out of the magic and monster closet.
Yeah.
To say these things and to talk about these types of things, and it's a shame that Fox is greedy and they don't know how to make movies properly, because then you could fully talk about Rogue.
Oh, yes.
If you're talking about Miss Marvel, but with the way that's going, that's all going to be for naught. And I think they're cutting most of her out from Days of Future Past anyway.
Yeah, apparently she only had one scene, and they're just like, nah, we don't want it.
No one can touch Anna Marie. This is so sad.
Teardrop. Yeah, I don't know. It bums me out because Rogue is like my favorite character, and it's just like I would love to see that in a movie. Because I think like she like of all the X-Men, like some of them have interesting pasts. You know, obviously Wolverine has like 20 different pasts, but like hers is just really like straightforward, but like really interesting with like pretty much the way she's manipulated by Mystique, and then gets her powers and becomes like a hero in her own right. Interesting with like pretty much the way she's manipulated by Mystique, and then gets her powers and becomes like a hero in her own right. Interesting with like pretty much the way she's manipulated by Mystique.
What is
that? I don't know why we have this feedback. Okay, there we go. That was kind of weird.
Was that you?
Maybe.
Oh.
Uh-oh. No more doppelgangers.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my multiple man. That was my multiple man coming out. I apologize for that. I don't even know where to go from that, but
Rogue.
Yeah. So yeah, Rogue movie would be awesome. But
yeah, she has a lot of pulling of heartstring elements to her story, so you don't just have to be stuck doing like, oh, this is a superhero thing. Like she generally has kind of a heartbreaking background. She comes from like the whole broken family, and then with Mystique being her like adoptive mother. Well, this is just when I going from like the X-Men task. I don't know the actual comic continuity, but I mean, even going from the the animated cartoon continuity, it's like, man, I mean that did suck for her, and they manipulated her for an episode, and she was a bad guy for a good while, you know, when they were going to her past, and then, well, if Marvel, like Sarah said, if only Marvel had it,
yeah,
because then they could explore the how she got her powers from Miss Marvel that one fateful day.
I just want to see the real Rogue. The one that flies around and punches people really hard. I don't want to see this, oh, Wolverine, be my father figure. I'm so scared.
Yeah.
I want to see the good night, sugar.
Yeah.
You know, just throwing people through
I
walls.
want the Southern Belle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when she stopped the train in the first couple issues of X-Men, that was when I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Now it's back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. The Brian Wood one.
Oh, yes, dude. Yeah, because I hadn't...
Train. She does.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, don't worry, guys. I got this. A train. Yeah, that's my warm-up.
Well, it's like, you know how strong she is. When I think it was Kitty, when she was getting lowered by Rogue, she's just like telling her, like, be careful. You know, it's just like, don't drop me too hard. And she's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Just throws her.
Yeah.
You'll land.
Yeah, and then I just like how, like, they go to Wolverine, he just cuts a check. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more lawsuits coming your way. You might want to save that pocketbook for later.
Don't worry, bub.
But, yeah, it was pretty funny.
But yeah, I was going to say, you know, is there any chance of a Rogue cosplay, you know, anytime in the future? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
America fills my punching needs. So I've gotta stay true to my girl because she's not showcased enough. And now that Young Avengers ended, she's even more near and dear to me. So I love Rogue, and there's a ton of people that do all of her variations that I absolutely adore, and I can't touch them. Literally, I'm making that joke twice.
Oh, I got that. That was clever.
You're slow.
So it's gonna be a Chavez for my punching.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew this, Prometheus, but she's kind of like an unofficial mascot for the website.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she literally. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but she like makes stars with her powers, and she punches them, and they create holes in reality.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Mine equals blown.
Exactly. It's very stylish. It's a stylish way to punch walls.
That is pretty stylish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not just viciously and savagely knocking on walls like Superboy Prime.
Yeah, right. With no regard to anybody's continuity.
She gives it a finesse while calling people out and saying that they're gay.
Yeah.
Well,
Sarah knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
I know what you're talking about, Princess.
I'll take that, actually.
I don't know, but that gives me a good segue about Ellen Page coming out as gay.
Oh, yeah. Surprise!
Yeah, right.
Surprise!
So I don't know if you're as surprised as I am, Sarah. This was a big shocker to me.
You know, there are very few celebrities that I actually follow. So I'm like, okay. I try to see them to do their work because there's nothing worse than loving a character or loving an actor than you watch more interviews and see things and you're like, oh, I don't like you at all. You just ruined this now.
Yeah.
But she seemed awesome from start to finish, and the fact that she's comfortable enough to be true with herself makes me love her even more.
Yeah, it was really cool. I just had read some quote from her, and she was talking about how she was tired of having to lie about who she was. So that it was cool that she felt comfortable to finally come out and say this is who I am. And I was kind of being sarcastic. I kind of did expect that. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting because it's kind of like a stereotype. Anytime there's a strong woman and people are like, oh, she's probably a lesbian. And then I thought it was kind of ironic that Ellen Page ended up being the case.
Yeah. I kind of always figured, cause I remember when she did that roller derby movie with Drew Barrymore. I remember they did like a what do you call it? Like a duet interview. Not duet, that's a bad choice of word.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They did a co-interview, somebody was interviewing the both of them for that movie.
Okay.
It wasn't a one-on-one.
Yeah.
It was one guy interviewing both of them. But they were like, yeah, we grew really close to each other, and they were kind of eyeballing each other, and yeah, maybe being girly, but it was it just looked like they were kind of in love with each other.
Oh, yeah.
While like, yeah, oh, she's a great person. Oh my god, and just like gushing each other with compliments. And I don't know if they were just being like tongue in cheek for the sake of the interview, but to me it was just kind of like, man, did something happen? Was there like sparks flying? And they went on a couple of dates and maybe it just didn't work out till afterwards or something. They just kept it like hush hush.
A bunch of stars appeared.
But that's to me, that's kind of when I always like figure like, oh, maybe she is gay.
Yeah.
Like it never went past that. I was like, oh, she's really good in Hard Candy or whatever that one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. It's funny because like Ellen Page was like one of the few like this actresses and just things that I liked about X-Men: The Last Stand. And you already know how much I despise that movie, but I was just like, why couldn't she be in a good one?
Juggernaut, bitch.
It makes me cry. It makes me cry on the inside.
Seriously. The best thing that Juggernaut ever did for me in life was in the animated series when Jubilee confronts him.
Yes.
And he's just like, what's she gonna do? At me?
Yeah, dude, that's like our favorite quote. Yeah, what you gonna do? Hit me with your diaper?
Yeah.
I ain't no stinking mutant. My powers are magical. Oh, man.
A fool and his money are soon parted.
I guess I should say tanks. Yeah, the Juggernaut is great. I just want to see just like a solo Juggernaut movie where you're just going around rampages around town.
It's funny because when that kid did the I'm the Juggernaut bitch videos, and he did like the whole like every episode that the Juggernaut was in. That was like 3.
Yeah.
And he did them all, and like the first one was really funny. The other 2 were like, eh.
The second one was pretty funny.
The second one was pretty funny.
Jugs ain't got no power steering.
Yeah, Jugs ain't got no power steering. But they were all funny. But I never remembered exactly. I never remembered a whole lot about X-Men Task. I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, I love that cartoon. And I would, the friends that I was talking to at the time was like, oh yeah, it was fun, it was blah, blah, blah. It wasn't until I rediscovered it on Netflix back in like 2009 when I first got Netflix. I was just like, this was the greatest thing ever of my childhood. Now I remember everything. And then you and I were watching it together for a while, like over and over. And then, I shared it with my son and he loved it. And I just remember all the quotes and stuff now. I was just like, yeah, this was truly a great show. And then going back to the Juggernaut bitch things, just like, why did you even make this? You're a terrible person. This show was great. It needed none of this.
The Juggernaut would not use that word.
Yeah, because like anything that dude says in the animated series was like 10 times funnier than the Juggernaut bitch kid.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Louis says it's great, but some parts don't hold up. Those parts are what make it so great, though. It's like all the unintentional comedy that comes with X-Men, the animated series.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for anybody that wants to watch it, you should check out your local half-price books, if you have one where you're at. Because I found the whole set, like each DVD was like $11. And I think there's like 6 of them.
Yeah. Like,
the Rogue
It's
Screw.
on Netflix.
Is it back? Because it was on there for a while, and they took it off.
Yeah, I was watching it. It wasn't too long ago. When I saw it, so
Well,
I would try that. And then there's torrents.
Oh, yes, of course. There's other ways. Pirates, yar.
Yar. Get my swashbuckling energy out there. I love Nightcrawler. I love him so much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and he's back in comics form. Oh, man, Luis is hating on the way Storm talked. That was like the best part.
Dude, she was the best.
When deliver us.
What is that
so
part?
Epic.
What's that part that she says? Just the whole Wolverine. What does she say though that leads up to it?
Oh,
the climates part.
I can't remember what she says. Wolverine's like, "Climate's your department, Storm. Unmasking is mine."
Oh God. Logan, please.
Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible.
The oddest one, I remember you pointing it out, but then when I actually discovered it on my own when I was watching it one day, is when they're trying to escape Genosha, and Gambit runs into Cable, like of all people, and like who the heck are you, mon ami? And he's like, the wild man of Borneo. Yeah. I was like, what the hell does that even? What's the reference? And then he just runs into the fucking forest.
They don't not only that, but they don't even explain him being there, because like the next time you see him, he's like from the year 3000.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like he just came to Genosha just for a vacation. Like, hold on, the future doesn't have as great of beaches, so he's gonna hang out in Genosha for a while.
It was like that Lego Marvel superheroes like random reference where like a hero just pops in, hey, I was in the neighborhood. It was like, oh, he's the hero of the week. That's what he is right basically.
Now. Oh man, yeah, I love X-Men the animated series. I don't care what you say, Luis. But I don't really have that much more comic book news. Well, actually, yeah, there is a bunch. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gotham TV show that's going to premiere on Fox.
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Well, they had Go ahead, Sarah.
Wait, what? The Goth MTV?
Oh, Gotham.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's just gonna be
No.
Batman. It's like a goth, like man,
Like Law and Order.
feelings.
Law and Order Gotham City Division.
Yeah. But yeah, they had cast Donald. I don't know.
Donald Logue.
Yeah, as Harvey Bullock.
Yeah.
So I guess that's official now.
Oh, it's official?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if anybody out there watches Sons of Anarchy, but he was that rogue
Torque.
DEA. Yeah, Lee Torque.
You
DEA.
monster.
Yeah, you monster. He gets. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, he gets something by Otto Delaney in the episode.
He gets a nice hug. But the Badass Digest had put out an article saying that in the series they're going to follow Bruce Wayne, quote unquote, until he gets interesting. Which is just such a weird. I don't know. It's such a weird quote. Like I don't know like where they're going with that in terms of because I know supposedly they want to follow him up until he becomes Batman. So I don't know if it's like once he actually grows up and starts training, they're like, all right, well that's enough Bruce Wayne for the show now.
Yeah,
You know, like because it's like it seems like they're so desperately wanting to incorporate the greater Batman universe without taking that step.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It seems like it could be interesting. I definitely check it out.
I guess the biggest thing would be if it's going to be whether or not it will be in continuity. You know, to me that's my biggest question because like, will this show lead into a new Batman reboot of the franchise to where like the TV Batman is going to be like the movie Batman, or is it just going to be like Smallville where they're just going to completely recast and just forget that those 10 seasons ever happened, or that it's just its own standalone thing.
I think it depends on how well it's received.
Because with Arrow, the rumors have been flying around that the guy playing Arrow is going to be part of the movie verse.
Yeah.
I don't know if those were ever unfounded or not, but
Well, it seems like all the rumors are unfounded. But
yeah, but I mean the fact that there's talks out there, I'm willing to, kind of look into it. But
I don't know.
we'll see.
Well, before I comment on that, I don't know, Sarah, what do you think about the Gotham TV series?
I have not watched it because my Marvel's my love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's not,
So you just haven't looked into it at all?
I haven't. It's not that I don't like DC, but they jacked up a whole bunch the last couple months.
Oh, yeah.
And I just started reading. Actually, I finished all of Batwoman. On
Okay. That's what I had a feeling that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, and oh geez, it was that reaction to that, and then that crazy controversy that happened with the Harley Quinn contest.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
That was with the suicide bathtub thing.
Oh, yeah. We covered that a few episodes.
Yeah, that was like the 1-2 punch. It's just like they already have the controversy with like Batwoman. It's like, oh, she can't get married because whatever stupid reason they had, and then it's like you would think they'd be on their best behavior from that, and they're like, nope, let's create even more controversy.
Yeah,
So,
and then
yeah.
it was just after that, not long after that, where it was the whole thing where somebody from DC was quoted like, "Well, girls just don't like toys and stuff," and
I think that was more Warner Brothers, but yeah, they were talking about
it's DC though.
Yeah, yeah, they were talking about why one of the reasons why they had canceled Young Justice, and it was because they weren't really hitting the demographics they wanted to, and more girls were watching the show than they wanted, and they're like, well,
yeah, that was the other thing.
yeah, so yeah, they just, I don't know, DC just needs to just go home and just rethink their position in life.
Go home, DC. You're drunk.
Yeah, they are drunk off of power.
Yeah. Until they're like, we're trying to make Superman realistic, and then here's Marvel making hundreds of millions of dollars on raccoons and trees. Where did we go wrong? Oh, yes, we forgot that comic books are supposed to be fun and not real. Like, I don't know who it was. There was something that I was watching or listening to, and these guys were talking about Marvel and DC. And they're like, the main flaw of DC is that in every movie they feel like they're trying to like apologize for the movie. And like, I know this is far-fetched, but let's just try to make it real. And Marvel just tackles stuff head on, and they're aware of what they're doing, and the characters are aware of what they're doing, and that makes it work. And I thought it was interesting, so I watched a couple, like, I think it was like Green Lantern came on TV, and a few other DC movies, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see what they're talking about. I don't know, it just seems very forced, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely feel where you're coming from. It's like they take a lot of the fun out of the characters. Like, even though I really enjoyed Nolan's Batman, it's like I still much prefer, like, the Batman the Animated Series. Like, that's, you know, to me, like, that's the quote-unquote, like, real Batman, you know? Like, that's the one where, you know, you have characters like Clayface and, you know, the real Ra's al Ghul that can actually, you know, be immortal, instead of, like, all right, we got to keep this grounded in reality. That's the only way this is going to work. And I think it's really ironic, especially for DC, because when you read DC Comics, that's not really the way they are at all. And it feels like whenever they go into the movie realm, they feel like they have to... It's almost like they're trying to put up, like, a front, you know? Whereas Marvel's like, yeah, let's just have fun. Let's give people the Hulk punching Loki, because we know they're going to love it, you know?
Yeah.
And we did.
Some of us did. Some of us didn't.
Oh, are you one of those some of us who didn't?
It was just, it was not fair, and that was rude. I think that was very rude, Bruce Banner.
Well, Bruce Banner, I mean, to be fair, Bruce Banner doesn't have the best of manners, you know? I mean, he doesn't even wear a shirt to dinner, and his pants are all ripped up, so he's a little rough around the edges.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah, exactly. He just punches his way, and he's like, you're not going to serve Hulk. He's going to punch you.
I can't see my boy getting beat up, though, so that's my problem. That's my problem. But, yeah, I don't know, that's my thing with DC, is just, yeah, I just feel like they hold back a lot, especially with movies, and so for shows, I didn't think that it would be anything different. I mean, Smallville, I watched back in the day, and it took, season 13 before he even had a clue of anything beyond his Clarkness. So, it's like, okay, come on.
I feel like the first show where they're finally going to just get right into it is Flash. They're like, oh, guess what? Flash is actually going to have powers, you know, like the Flash should. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that does really illustrate the point where, like, yeah, you're right, where they're just afraid to, like, have it, you know, I mean, even like Green Arrow, it's like, well, we're just going to call it Arrow, and in the show he's referred to as the Hood, you know, so it's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, you're definitely right about that. It's like, yeah, they feel ashamed. It's like, oh, we don't want people to know. Someone in the chat says, don't speak about Smallville. It angers me.
Oh, DC. Yeah, so far, Batwoman's good. I want to read a couple other New 52 titles just to see, because I do love Gail Simone as a writer.
Yeah.
But she's done work for Marvel as well, but she is awesome in my book.
Nice. I'm curious, are you familiar with Game of Thrones? Do you watch that show?
I do. I've watched up to season 2 and like a half. I haven't finished season 3.
Okay.
Oh, she's just
you're at the tip of the iceberg. Yeah,
she's
you're
a couple episodes away.
It's the Red Wedding is what's
Oh,
coming.
okay, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know of all these things, but I'm kind of like, spoilers can go. I don't care, because no matter what, when you actually sit down and watch it, it'll be like, oh, okay, this is what everyone's talking about. I've heard their opinions, now I can make my own.
Yeah, that's really
very
how
true.
we usually have a third counterpart in my brother, Bobby Beetle. I don't think you met him at the con, but
yeah, he wasn't there.
he went and bought. He spent like the $30 to go buy the season 1 Blu-ray DVD combo.
Well, 1 and 2, I think. Like
Well,
$60.
at first it was the season 1, because we were always talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we were talking in length about season 3 once I had finished it, and he was like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna watch it because you guys just spoiled it for me." And we're like, "No, dude, you just spent $30 to get it, and you only saw 2 episodes. Whatever." And he's all mad.
And he took that Sean Bean dying as a spoiler. It's like, come on, dude. If he lived, that would be a spoiler.
One dies.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but Sean Bean specifically dies in every movie that he's in.
Yeah.
There's
He
even
loves
a
it.
highlight reel of it on
Tickles him to
YouTube.
die.
Yeah, I actually posted in the chat here in a little bit. But yeah, he took that as a spoiler, and he was kind of like how I get with shows that, like Archer, I think is one that I adamantly will not watch. That you guys are just like,
It's so
dude, you need to
great.
watch it. Like, I will not just because you say I should. But Yeah, one day he just came in and he was like, "I've seen all 3 seasons."
Yeah, just like out of nowhere.
We're like, "What? What happened?" He was like, "I don't know. You guys were talking about it the other day at length, and I think it had something to do with the season 4 promo that came out a couple of months back.
Something like that.
It was like a 3-4 minute promo."
And
then, I think it was us talking about that and like all the stuff that's going to happen for season 4. And I think you had just finished the latest book.
Oh yeah,
and we were. It was like that whole day, that whole hour, we were just talking about Game of Thrones. It was like, yeah, I went and got season 2 DVD, and I torrented season 3, and it's awesome. We're like, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like, see, so it's like, yeah, it's just kind of like how Sarah said, where it's like, and things might get spoiled, but you don't get to experience it until you actually sit down and watch it, and you're just like, oh wow, and this is what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that.
This is the bee's knees.
For the last 5 episodes, I pretty much brought up 24. But I rewatched season 5, which was the only season I had watched when it was actually on TV. And even knowing everything that was going to happen, like even having it spoiled for myself through my own eyes, I was still entertained and shocked by stuff that happened. Because I was like, oh, I know what's going on. It's like, no, this can't be. This isn't the way it goes.
Louis said that was the best season.
It really was. It was great. But not to belabor on that point too much. But yeah, the only reason I brought up Game of Thrones is just because they had an article. One of the characters that shows up in season 3, I won't put any spoilers, but Dario Naharis is a character. He shows up, kind of joins Daenerys' crew. And for whatever random reason, they had recast him as some other actor. People were speculating it was because he didn't look like the book version, but then the guy that recast him as also didn't look like the book version. But apparently he's going to be starring in the reboot of The Transporter. Because, of course, we need more Transporter in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. God. So, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny when I saw that. It's like, first of all, that's the last thing I would have expected. Like, he doesn't really seem like someone who would follow Jason Statham. And then, 2, the last Transporter movie was so awful. I don't know why he would want to make another one. So, it just kind of makes me sad in my soul.
Cruel and unusual punishment, but mostly money.
yeah, that's definitely right. I guess they figure it's like, well, Fast and Furious can have like 7 of them. We can at least crank out a couple more Transporters.
Yeah.
Hollywood. That pretty much sums it up. That's pretty much how I feel about that. But
moving on.
Yeah. Well, another Game of Thrones news. Okay, so the woman the actress that plays Catelyn Stark, Michelle Fairley, is gonna be in the 24 not reboot, but I guess the new miniseries that's coming up. So I don't know. I think it's really interesting because Agamemnon's always chastised me and Beetle for liking 24 because the acting is very poor. Other than Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, you guys sort of blame me for not ever watching it, but my wife was watching it as well. I guess on the piggybacking on the hype that you two created in her eyes. So I think she started watching a couple of episodes of 24, and I was like, this show is bad. And then I saw a couple here with you, and I was like, dude, this is horrible. This is flipping awful. How do you like this? And then it had that one chick, hey, Mr. B.
Oh, the one that was in 187.
From 187, that Latina chick. And she wasn't very good in that movie, but I remember she was in the first season of 24, and they were like interrogating her for something. One of many victims of interrogation. I don't know. Jack Bauer makes interrogation on its own seem like a war crime. It's like, well, there's waterboarding. It's like, but the way he does interrogation.
Well, sometimes he just yells at them. Sometimes he
that's
doesn't
what I'm
even physically
saying.
do anything. He's
That's
just
what I'm
like
saying.
really angry and mean. You just want to just be like, all right, if you stop yelling, I'll tell you, please.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But yeah, that's the only thing that's really keeping me. And I don't understand. Like, to me, this show just seems like a guilty pleasure for you guys.
It is.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. It is.
But there's times where you guys make it seem like this is a legit good show. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to disagree.
It has legit moments wrapped up in a lot of ridiculousness. But the whole reason for bringing this up is just that it's like, okay, now there's somebody really credible who's an excellent actress that's going to be joined to the cast. So, I don't know. I just feel like that supports my theory that having it as 12 episodes is going to substantially raise the quality of the show. Where it's like the few moments you get out of 24 episodes is going to be distilled down into 12 and actually have like a solid series.
Yeah.
So, that's my guess. That's my prediction that I'm making now. And we'll see if it actually happens.
I'm being shunned by the chat.
Really? What are they saying?
Luis is just he's shunning me.
He says Jack has no time for games. Thank you, Luis. Yeah, he needs to get told when he wants to know, or he's gonna start hurting people. But so there's a rumor. I don't know if you're ever a fan of Knight Rider.
Oh, I love Kit. I'll say that.
Okay, well then you're gonna love the fact that, or you might love, but supposedly they're gonna be rebooting Knight Rider, and Danny McBride is gonna be the voice of Kit.
Oh my, that's gotta be a joke.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds cool, but that just seems like it's a joke. Like, all he's gonna be doing is like, I want some fucking Cheetos, man. Give me some goddamn Cheetos and a soda, and give me some of that Supreme unleaded gas or some shit.
See, I think it would work.
I need vodka and Coke.
It would work as a comedy, because right now there's the lead. They're saying Chris Pratt, but I think if they threw in like what's his name, James Franco instead, and you just have James Franco as David Hasselhoff's character and Danny McBride as Kit.
Chrissy says, "Oh, really? Can we stop rebooting things?" Or see, okay. And Luis even says there was I remember there being a previous reboot, and I think it was just a movie. Was it not like a TV movie or something?
I don't know.
I'm having trouble remembering.
I know they made that.
Luis, fill us in.
They made something similar with the Dodge Viper, entitled Viper.
Oh, that Pam Anderson one? Good God.
Was it Pam Anderson? I just remember it was some dude. And I remember like the Viper would turn into like the gray silver Viper, and it would be bulletproof, and it could shoot missiles out of the headlights. And I remember watching it as a kid, like, oh man, I want a Viper so bad. So I had like this remote control Viper and had it drive around with G.I. Joe's piloting it. It's pretty awesome. And then I think I like rewatched like one of the episodes maybe a year later. I'm like, this is so awful. As you can imagine, a show that's pretty much just an advertisement for Dodge.
It kind of was, and I mean that's kind of how it goes sometimes for these shows.
Yeah. Sorry, you're saying something?
Oh no, I'm reminiscing because yes, I do remember that show, and I feel like I was just taken to a dark place.
Not even the bright headlights of a Dodge Viper can get you out.
Okay, yeah, Luis.
They weren't the headlights in the car.
Luis said there was a TV show back in 2008. 17 episodes. Wow. I vaguely remember that.
That's a lot for a terrible TV reboot.
I was thinking of some show. It was like that bully dude from the OC. I forget his name. But he was like the bully dude that always picked on Adam Brody.
I never saw
character.
the show. I saw the first episode.
And
I know you loved it.
I liked the OC. It was a good show.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Alan Heinberg, man.
It's not
He's the one that started Young Avengers.
Did
Come
he?
on. Yeah.
Oh,
He wrote and created Young Avengers.
okay. He goes.
05?
Yeah, 05 Young Avengers. He was one of the season writers on the OC. So he knows how to write teen drama.
I'll take your word for it.
I forget. I always forget the writer that's on it now, but he, like, to me, that's a good successor to Young Avengers, because I was waiting for years for Volume 3 of Young Avengers to come out, and he never returned. He was like, yeah, I'll come back, and I'm going to explore more about Teddy and Billy's relationship, and how, and because, like, I remember Volume 2 ending where the Avengers and Young Avengers pretty much prevent the second coming of the Kree Skrull invasion, because they were both there to abduct Teddy, and then Teddy kind of takes a stand. They're like, I'm here on Earth. Something like that, I don't remember. Maybe, Sarah, you remember. But, do you remember, actually?
Do you remember the time?
But,
I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I'm not going to interject.
Oh, yeah, be free to just jump in.
Yeah.
I probably should have told you that at the very beginning. Just jump in at any
Just
time.
be like, listen, dude, shut up.
and if we don't stop talking, just be like, shut up!
No, I'll chime in because I obviously my favorite is the second volume, the Kieran volume, but the first ended up with a whole issue with Teddy was how it ended after the invasion and all that, and then the new Young Avengers starts picking up with Billy and Teddy's relationship. Like that was one of the first things that was introduced, even before Kid Loki or like that whole explanation and thing. So.
Yeah, and I just remember, so pretty much what Volume 3 kicks off, kind of, I guess, what Heinberg wanted to do, but with, like, this whole different twist, because it brings in, I don't know, because when I started reading Young Avengers, that was my introduction to Miss America as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then young Loki, so I was just like, well, where are both of these people coming from? So I don't know if they were introduced in different series. And then I was like, where's Patriot? Where's Cassie? So then I Wikipedia'd that, and I was very sad after that, because it turned out Cassie died to bring her father back. I don't know if I'm reading that right. Sometimes I don't want to trust Wikipedia, but and then I guess that made Patriot quit the game, being a hero. So he hasn't been. There's been like this weird version of Patriot in the new series.
Yeah.
And Children's Crusade, from what Luis is saying. But yeah, so he quit the game, and I don't know who this new Patriot is. But I don't know. The whole series was kind of, when I restarted the series, I was just like, oh, cool, I'm going to pick up where I left off with the Heinberg's run. And it was like completely different. There was new characters, and Kate and Novar are a thing. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. It's cool. I like it. I'm loving it, but I'm a little bit confused. You know? It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I hope it comes back, or at least some of these characters get another shot. I mean, okay, Loki's got his own comic now, but other than that, and then there's Hawkeye, so Kate has her own thing, but...
So did they stop the series now?
Yeah, it was 15 issues, and Kieran was just like, I had my story to tell, and, that was it.
Really? Dude,
Yeah.
I've been waiting this whole time thinking, because I just found out when did I get my pull? I think, when was it? Saturday. I found out Saturday that, no, it was yesterday, it was Sunday, that Captain Marvel, they're going to do like I guess somewhat of a reboot of the series. They're going to start with a new #1. That's from what my comic book guy told me. He was like, yeah, they're going to wait another month or two, but they'll be coming out with it pretty soon. And I saw my She-Hulk, and I was like, yeah, #1. They didn't have any Miss Marvel. I was like, yeah, second printings are coming out in a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, man, must be selling like hotcakes. But yeah, I didn't know that about Young Avengers, though.
Yeah, I was really bummed, because I was like, okay, we've gotten over some of these issues with Mother and that whole situation.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Loki's older now. This could be a whole nother set of interesting issues, and Kate and Novar aren't together anymore. So I'm like, okay, things are happening. A little bit more about America's background, and then it like cuts me off, like ripping the ivy out of my arm.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. It's like, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of plot strings, but there was like maybe 2 or 3 going on, but everything got wrapped up nicely at the end, and then they had the 2-part New Year's issues, and then it ends like with the putting a whole new what's the phrase I'm looking for, but it kind of sets a new standard for where the series could possibly go. So I had no idea. I was like, oh, so it's just like, yeah, like you said, it was like we're gonna see Miss America to the forefront, maybe even like a possible team leader. Novar and Kate aren't a thing anymore, so who knows if either one or just maybe one of them will be on the team now. And the whole thing with Patriot or the pseudo Patriot and who the hell he is, there's like to me there's just that was like the big mystery. And then like, will Loki still be in the Young Avengers, or now he's got his own solo title, but Wolverine's everywhere, so why not have him in the series still?
Wolverine needs a nap.
So I just found the phrase. It was new status quo for the entire series. So I was like really excited for the next issue. Like, what's going to happen next? What's this new great adventure? And hopefully we'll actually see Speed in the issue, because he was like trapped in something with Patriot's pseudo body. Sometimes I don't know how to explain
the
comics.
astral plane.
Atomic. I know. Yeah, you're like, okay, where do I start with this? All right, so. Not existing, but a figment of the past is visiting him in the future. People are like,
yeah, it's like classic Kitty Pryde. Yeah, but what?
Oh man, have you seen that picture? It's for all new X-Men. It's like Beast, like drawn on like a chalkboard, and it's like him trying to explain the X-Men continuity.
No,
and it just looks like this most ridiculous physics equation you've ever seen.
That sounds like
it's
it should.
That scene of Thor 2 when. Oh God! I can't think of his name. It left me. Eric Selvig. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Explore like the planets, and then if you look super, super close on the chalkboard, you can see where it says 616 Universe written in all his math doodles. It's
Nice.
so awesome.
Oh, and Chrissy is saying Iron Fist is getting a new
series.
Dude, that is awesome.
Same with Captain Marvel.
I need to know
and
who's
Magneto.
writing that. And yeah, Captain Marvel, that was the only one I knew about, and that was just like a day ago.
It's gonna be written by-
Magneto, I want to say I knew about that one, and hasn't started yet.
Mm-hmm. That's April.
Yeah.
And Elektra is getting one, too.
Oh, okay, cool, Elektra. Yeah,
And
this
Young
is all coming
Cyclops,
from Chrissy. Previews issue, Agent of Asgard and Miss Marvel. Nice.
So okay. So I got a question. So there's a new Miss Marvel. So is Carol Danvers since she's Captain Marvel? That's completely different now.
Yeah, she's basically graduated, and she's Captain Marvel now, and she's going to pass the torch to Kamala.
Okay, so promotion.
Yeah, which I like. Like, I don't like that it's like, okay, you're forever going to be Miss. You know, like, you can be Captain, too.
Yeah, right. Someone's got a little captain in her. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, because I've heard really good things about Captain Marvel, so I've been meaning to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Kelly Sue who writes it.
Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible. And that was the other thing, to go with what I was talking about with the crossovers earlier. Like, she handled that beautifully with her version of the crossover. We're like, yeah, we're set in the Infinity storyline, but we're going to make this all about Captain Marvel and how she
Yeah.
lost her memory in the previous issue. It was
okay.
really crazy. The only thing that confused me, I think, was like issue 12 or 13, where it was like, it was pretty much the climax of this battle that she had with some dude that was trying to take over the city.
Mm.
And she ends up like having this tumor blow up in her brain
It's not the tumor.
because all the machinations of what was going on were part of her memory, or that tumor that was in her brain. So if she pushed her flight skills enough, it exploded the tumor, but nobody knew what would happen to her, if she would die or
I
not.
see.
So she ended up like trying to sacrifice herself, regardless, because she's an awesome hero like that. And yeah, all she lost was her memory.
Okay.
But like, yeah, so now she knows she's Captain Marvel, but all these people that she's shared all these like heartfelt experiences with,
Okay.
you know, since she's been Captain Marvel, she has no recollection of. So that like people are trying to help her piece together who she is. So going into Infinity, you know, she's with like Spider-Woman, who's like her best friend,
Mhm.
and she's trying to treat her like a friend.
Yeah.
But in her mind, she's just like, they're just people now. It's just
Okay, I see.
she's kind of like a little bit cold.
There's acquaintances.
Yeah, they're just acquaintances. But she, you know, to me it was kind of cool because like in the whole like encompassing, you know, being in space and fighting this like vast unknown villain, you know, with this huge armada of aliens against him. You know, she's just kind of like doesn't let the friendship thing get in her way. She's just like making command decisions left and right. So in that sense, it like helps. And the way Kelly Sue DeConnick writes it, it's like, wow, this is awesome. You know, and she throws in a couple of little teasers in there herself. There was like some characters that some Marvel superhero characters that the enemy had captured, and they're like, people on Earth shouldn't have these treasures or something like that. Like, whoa, I guess they're like really like rare heroes or something like that, or just like what they were. And I forgot. I think one of them was Quasar, with like the Quasar bands.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess that was like a rare weapon that like nobody's supposed to have, even though
Even though he has them.
Even though he-
flying around space with them.
yeah. Well, I don't know if Quasar's a he or she now. I always forget, but
It's quasi.
but it's like the Quasar bands itself is like there's like a plethora of heroes, mutants. They're like stronger than anything the Quasar bands can like, hope to accomplish. So it's like
So they're
I
kind
don't
of
know if
a
they're
moot point.
that crazy cool, but yeah, okay, well, I dig it. I dig it. Like they make them seem more important.
They're good for Quasar.
Just with that one comment.
Yeah.
Just like what are these doing on Earth? That kind of thing. Like no one's supposed to have this power. But anyways, what else? What other news do we got?
We got one more news topic, but before I get into that, I'm just curious because I haven't really kept up with the Marvel Universe as a whole. But I was reading some, it was on Comics Alliance, and they were like doing like these pseudo awards, and one of them was like the Rogue is Dead award. So I'm guessing Rogue died or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I remember talking or not talking. I was overhearing. I was eavesdropping. All right, let me just be honest. I was eavesdropping on some people yesterday. It was Eric from Tribe, who's my comic book guy, and another dude that was there, and they were talking about how Rogue died. And I was like, Rogue's dead?
Okay, Louis said Uncanny Avengers 15.
Of course. Of course it would be an Avengers comic. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But, yeah, I was just kind of like, why? How? She was just an X-Men. She was awesome. And she didn't even get to shine.
Yeah.
Like, in adjectiveless X-Men, it's more or less just like Rachel and Psylocke and, I think, Storm for a hot minute. But,
Wind.
yeah, man. I don't know. That kind of stinks.
It's just like, to me, it's like finally she's really getting some shine, and then it's just like, she can't die.
Dead. How does she die, Luis?
Because I know I think she killed Scarlet Witch, and then someone else killed her. Oh, that's what it was. It was like the Grim Reaper.
When did Scarlet Witch come back?
She came back. She's like, hey, guys. Rogue punches her in the face. But like, it was like, I guess the Grim Reaper, who was also dead, came back and then killed her or something.
Is he the guy with the Reaper hand? That was
Probably.
like the old school Captain America and Avengers game?
Oh. I don't know.
Was it that dude? Or is it like the actual like Grim Reaper?
I think. Okay.
Oh, okay, it was that dude.
Okay, Louis said she came back late last year.
What? Oh, yeah, he is Wonder Man's brother. He's like the douchebag evil twin brother.
Killing rogues. So I don't know.
Rude.
Chrissy says, I clearly have some reading to do. So do I. I don't know.
I don't know. We just spoiled like all these different plot lines for Chrisley now.
It was like a couple months ago, though.
Yeah.
But it just pisses me off the way like a lot of characters are used in different books, because she's not even addressed like in the X-Men.
Yeah, in X-Men, yeah, she's there in the train scene. And
yeah,
it's cool, and then she's kind of there for like added muscle. But yeah, even during like the whole not prison right in the school riot, you know, when Karima / Arkea busts out and starts running havoc all over the school and like trying to kill everybody with Kitty. It's like, where's Rogue? You know, she's kind of like there, but not there.
But yeah, like after she's dead, like, do they even have like a memorial, or are they just like, well, we're just not going to acknowledge that this happened because it happened in a different title? So I don't know, Sarah, do you keep up with it more? Because I have all the issues, but I haven't read them yet.
Yeah, I haven't read anything that's in the storyline that you're talking about.
Oops.
What?
Like even.
Like, I just can't, if I know there's going to be some ridiculous character death, first of all, I can't be upset because no one ever dies.
Yeah,
really dies.
Dead is dormant.
Dead is dormant,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many times has Jean died? How many times has Xavier died? Loki? So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But why? It's just, I don't know.
Why do they even bother killing them anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. That was part of the thing that pissed me off when like Cap first died, because like Cap was kind of like the one that never really dies because people need him. He's like he's a symbol of hope. But don't laugh. Don't laugh. I will smack you. No, but
anytime.
yeah, when he died, I just felt like it was like a cheesy cop out. And then I remember watching like the Colbert Report where they were like interviewing Joe Quesadilla. I was all pissed off, like, "Fuck you, Joey! Fuck you, asshole!" But, yeah, I don't know. After that, what was that, like 05, 06?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, after that whole instance, I was just, like, I didn't care anymore. If somebody died, I was like, well, that sucks because I was liking them, but and now I got to wait a year.
Yeah, pretty
tops,
much.
you know, for them to come back. Because I even called it after that. I'll bet you they'll bring them back after 12. I don't even think it was 12 months.
Louis said 06 to 07.
Yeah, and they brought them back with the with that Avengers Invaders crossover, where like the old school 1942 Invaders come back.
Okay.
It's like the old school Namor and the two Human Torches.
Oh, yeah.
They come back, and then some other event happens, and then like the original Captain America comes back.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, that was funny that Sarah had brought up Jean Grey dying, because like now there's two Jean Greys. There's like the future Jean Grey that was like unresolved, and she's running around.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Jean Grey from the past. So it's almost like you kill them and they're like a Hydra, and you're just gonna get more of them. So maybe we'll get yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll just get two rogues. We'll get the depowered rogue that can only steal powers, and then we'll get like a superpowered like a mega mutant rogue.
That'd be awesome. Or maybe they'll actually like split, and they'll actually be like an Anna rogue and then a Marie rogue.
Oh, like Superman blue and Superman red, dude.
One's yellow, one's green.
Oh,
just take out the hyphen. And there you go. Boom.
I am sold.
That would be awesome. Yeah, Marvel, if you're listening, which I know you are, get on that.
We want
Oh,
credits.
yes. They're that anonymous one that keeps popping in and popping out.
Oh yeah, he's Marvel incarnate. If they have a European branch, it's definitely that guy. He's in charge of all the Captain Britain comics that no one will ever read.
Yeah. Be glad your sister's Psylocke, otherwise no one would ever care.
Yeah. I feel bad because, there's a lot of really good writers from the UK and not a single one writes Captain Britain. It's like, that's how you know.
They do it for a reason. They want to keep their job.
Yeah, exactly. I bet like when they were kids growing up, they're like, "Oh, great, a comic for us," and they're just looking at it and they're just sad. They just put it back on the shelf.
Blimey. Yeah.
This is terrible.
Mama, can I move to America?
All right, so Luis corrected me. He said, no, the original Cap came back in Reborn. And he also goes on, we haven't seen Rogue since she, quote-unquote, died. She may not be dead. She did have Wolverine's powers at the time. Well, goddamn it.
Oh, that's right. Well, what's dead may never die, so. I'm sure she'll come back with claws or something. Talking with
her, like, ultimate version, remember, where she had, like, the bone claws and, like, the psi powers and everything, that one cover?
Oh,
she
yeah.
Just, like, sucked everybody, yeah.
She was, like, screaming.
Okay, this is another question I have. So I'm kind of clarified a little bit on the Rogue death. Before I get to that, Louis says Paul Cornell wrote Captain Britain and MI-13. He's British.
I actually have a volume of Excalibur. I'm not saying that's a British title, but it's got, like, British characters. And Jugs is in it as a good guy. And that was actually a pretty good title, because it was, like, Jugs and, like, an alternate universe daughter of Nightcrawler. And she was pretty dope, too.
Nocturne?
And yes, it was Nocturne, because I think there was like a panel in that where she actually meets Nightcrawler, but I think in her universe he was evil. So like she sees him and she's like, "Wow, so this is what my dad could be like." And they're like have like a father-daughter moment, I think, and I was just like, "Oh, this is really cool."
Just teleport.
New Excalibur. There you go. Thanks, Luis. Yeah, I was putting it up the other day and I was like, "Oh, I have this. This is awesome." So it was really
soon
cool.
to be rebooted as all new Excalibur.
Yeah, it was like Jugs and I think Captain Britain and that I don't know, some dude in a trench coat, but he worked for like MI6 or MI7, which was like the secret version of MI6.
Even more secretive.
Even more secret.
It's like right across the street. No one must know we're here.
Yeah, Pete Wisdom. Yeah, he had like those psychic claw things. I don't remember. They're like psychic pin needles or something.
Nice.
I don't know.
The acupuncturist with my side needle.
He's great for getting out splinters. Captain Wisdom, I just got a splinter. Help me. Don't worry. I'm on it.
Yeah, but he was pretty dope. He was pretty cool. But yeah, like the whole title was really good, but it wasn't written by British people, but it was like set in Britain.
Okay. It's really a Scottish guy writing it. I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you, wee bastards.
Okay, so here's my question. So Jubilee is a vampire now.
Yeah.
How and when did this happen?
Didn't it happen in Astonishing?
Oh, did it? Oh, okay. It must have been the post-Whedon Astonishing.
It was...
Was it when Ellis was writing?
I'm trying to think. Who was writing? I want to say Ellis.
Okay. Yeah,
it was a little bit later on, because Deadpool and Domino are fighting together, and she's a vampire, and she was turned before that. Yeah, it's been a while. I would say since, like, 07-ish.
Okay, wow.
She's been a vampire? I'll have to check now, because I have to know.
I've been away from comics for a long time then, because I think I just barely saw her as a vampire in the X-Men title, the all-female X-Men Jubilee.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, she's a vampire now? Like, did Blade bite her or something?
I remember her being a vampire, but I didn't know she still was one.
Yeah, it's complicated.
I thought they wrote that out or something.
Well, it's weird because she can still be in daylight, can't she? Is she a daywalker?
She's a daywalker.
Daywalker.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's the mutant thing. If she was human, she'd have to be coffin-bound all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. She gets plenty of sunlight.
Yeah, she's actually really tan. That's her power.
Yeah.
You never burn. It's like, oh, this is actually rather
Chinese
nice.
complexion.
You're all like, bitch. She's like, don't be jelly.
Frost, your mascara's running. Maybe they can do a Blade reboot with Jubilee instead.
Maybe. Well, no, it's She was bitten by Dracula's son.
I hate when that happens.
Dude, Blade, Jubilee, and Shogo.
That'd be awesome.
I'm more afraid of Shogo drooling on me than getting bitten.
Yeah. But how cool would it be if they like teamed up and like? I mean, I don't know what you would be doing having a baby and going on an adventure like that, but
Well, they could have future Shogo.
yeah, future Shogo. But then it wouldn't be as cool because then like Deadpool, Blade. Yeah, thank you. Blade would like say something like, "We need to kill, I don't know, the son of Dracula," and then Jubilee's like, "Yeah, you're right," and then Shogo would be like, "Bah." Like, there it is. That's what I was looking for.
It's like, I don't want to hang around
But then
with
you
these
would have to
kids.
admit that Jubilee's an irresponsible parent and an unfit mother, and Blade is just as guilty for allowing it to happen in front of him.
Well, Blade had to get out of debt prison first to go on this adventure.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So Deadpool and Jubilee.
Well, he can still do it, but he'll just show
It's
up like
getting
half.
worse and worse.
It went from like an action drama to like just a dramatic comedy.
Yeah.
Once you throw in Deadpool in there.
A dramatic self-aware comedy.
Yeah.
After school special.
Oh man, and this, kids, is why you don't get pregnant.
Well, not
Because
even be like, so you're choosing adoption. Why?
yeah. So you're becoming a vampire. Here's
Yeah.
the things
Oh my
you
God.
need to know.
I feel like there needs to be like a series of like Beetlejuice-esque books that are like, handbook for the recently deceased, but like, handbook for the recently turned. Plasmoids got you down, and are you hungry for plasma? You got
Yes and yes.
How to cope with vampirism
Yeah. How do you sharpen your fangs
For
in 5
victims-
easy steps?
for victims and their parents.
Well, Louise says it was in X-Men when a vampire did a kamikaze attack that turned others into vampires in California, and Jubilee was in the attack. It was in the same arc when Iceman was holified by a priest to attack vampires. Oh, did he shoot like holy ice water? Because that would be kind of crazy.
that would be
Dude!
intense.
Yes, that would be.
Like he could
Oh
be
my
in
God.
the Dust Till Dawn remake.
He'd be like all cocky and be like, "The power of Christ compels you!"
Yeah.
And then just shoot like icicles at you.
Ice beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, or no, it could be like an ice sickle, like steak.
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
There.
Nice. I like that.
damn.
I see what you did
He's
there.
like, yeah, I know you vampires bite, but take some frostbite. Boom.
Oh, Baba Drake.
Yeah, right?
That actually is something you probably would say. Then everyone
Yeah.
just looks at him with a little stress ball, like, nah.
I'll
no,
take
Bob.
that bad pun win of the day.
Winning.
I'm giving it to myself this time.
Alrighty. Well, we got one last topic. Not exactly Marvel or really comic book related. In the last 5 or so episodes, we've been having a continuous saga that we affectionately called War Shia, as we follow the ridiculous and asinine things that Shia LaBeouf has been doing. And it started off with this whole plagiarism thing, and now he has a whole new campaign, his hashtag I'm Sorry, where he's running an exhibit where, where's it now? It's so ridiculous. So basically you go into like a museum, and he's in there, and it just involves picking out an object that has to do with his previous work, and going into a room where he sits there silently with a bag over his head. And one of the objects is like his tweets.
like a manuscript of tweets?
Yeah,
Or are you just pulling up like a web page?
It just says one of them implements a bowl of tweets that you read to him. It's like it's someone tweeting that I guess went through and experienced it, and she says, "You're told there's a table. It says there's a Daniel Klaus book, a whip, some Hershey's kisses, and a wrench." And then she just puts, "What the hell did I just experience?" So apparently, it's just getting more and more bizarre for reasons that are still unknown to me. But just the idea of just having somebody read tweets just randomly, like I'm guessing, I'm just imagining they're printed out like fortune cookies, and like or the fortunes that are in fortune cookies, and you just grab a handful, you just sit there just reading them to them.
So awkward.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
It's like I usually hate giving attention to this type of stuff, But it's just, I don't know, it just amuses me. Because it's just like, okay, when people usually do something outrageous, you can be like, okay, they're just trying to get attention, you know, like, whatever, like the Miley Cyrus thing or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, she's trying to break out of the teen mold. But it's just like, Shia LaBeouf isn't really endearing himself to anybody, you know? It's just like...
It's not like, I'm gonna be me. You know, it's like Miley Cyrus is like, what, 20, 21 now? So,
something like that, I don't know.
Yeah, she's inexperienced with her newfound adulthood. I don't know.
She just discovered the internet so she could discover twerking from 1999.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
It's like, welcome, you saw your first Juvenile video. Congratulations. You know?
Juvenile. I was thinking Yang Yang Twins.
No, Juvenile was doing it way before.
Was he?
Them NO boys.
Before Whistle While You Twerk?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, call me Big Daddy when you back that thing up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, come on, man.
Where they had all the cars in the parking lot or whatever.
Where were you in 9'7", 9'8"? I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was in middle school.
Watching girls get pregnant.
Maybe that's
the parking lot.
Maybe that'll be the next thing Shia LaBeouf does. He'll get pregnant somehow.
Yeah. I went to a really...
It's weird because he's not like a high-profile person, and he's deliberately doing something like it's his exhibit that he's putting out there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's not like, oh, I did something, oh no, something leaked, or oh, nip slip, oops, I didn't know. To get attention. You know, it's deliberate. So that's why I'm like, why? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because like before he did this, he went to a premiere for his movie Nymphomaniac with a paper bag on his head that said "I'm not famous." So yeah, it's definitely deliberate and definitely very public. Where it's I don't even know.
Yeah.
Chrissy said no. Chrissy said no, please, no procreation for Shia.
Seriously.
Can you imagine if
Joaquin Phoenix had a weird moment? Is he
Yeah.
still weird?
No, he's back to normal.
Okay.
He's back to normal, but now he's picking like odder roles of movies to where he lets that weirdness out, I guess.
So the thing with Joaquin Phoenix is he's a fantastic actor.
He's
so it's like
incredible, yeah.
you can forgive the weirdness. Shia is like, get out of our movies. Like Shia is like not really beloved by anybody. Like at most, people might like him. They might like some stuff he is, but it's not like, oh, he's a great talent in Hollywood. Yeah. So when he does, it's just like, what do you do? I just want to know what his end game is, if he even has one. Like, is this all just elaborate to just like promote his newest movie? Or is he really just trying? Is he really like trying to be creative, but he is incapable, and this is what the output is?
Yeah, I don't know. I think at the heart, it's just him like not being able to handle the whole plagiarism scandal well, and now he's just kind of like creating shame to hide that shame. Just like, well, if I do something ridiculous and outlandish and stupid, maybe people will forget that I plagiarized outright someone else's property work.
You know, you might be right about that, because it's like he's trying to do something so stupid that it overshadows, like it destroys the conversation about plagiarism.
Well, it's kind of like this self-fulfilling thing where it's just like, well, now this thing is so stupid and I'm getting berated for it, so I'll do something even dumber so that people don't remember that. And then it's like just the cycle over and over. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It's going to be the South Park episode with David Blaine, where he's like, David Blaine will now eat his own head. And then he just like eats it and just like dies. So that's
on the topic next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can only do this once, so prepare. So I don't know. That's kind of the path I anticipate for Shia. But yeah, so that Chrissy says shit begets shit. There you go. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
So, I have one more topic. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Akira, if you're a fan of anime. Well, obviously you're a fan of anime because you're Sailor Moon.
Yeah. I like classic. So stuff that I grew up on. I mean, Sailor Moon, everything by My Neighbor Totoro, all those Studio Ghibli movies.
Fighting evil by moonlight.
They're expensive now, man. That's all I'm going to say about that. But holy hell. I remember buying My Neighbor Totoro for like $20, and I was like, okay, well, I'll buy it. I'm not happy with the price, but it's a new... Because, Disney has the rights to sell it in America, so I think that's partly why they put it on the level with all their Pixar films. It's like Toy Story on DVD is still $20, and like Totoro came out probably around the same time, if not before, predated it, which was like 9.
Yeah.
Came out it came out a good while back. Good while back. You know, it was before I hit 10, and yeah. So like paying $20 was kind of like, but I really like this movie, so I went and got it. But yeah, now it's like Secret World of Arrietty and Ponyo and a couple of the other classics, which I cannot name off the top of my head. They're all like $20 plus for like just DVD, and like I don't even want to talk about
the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray combo packs.
It's a lot of yen.
Screw that noise. Like they're old movies by association. It's like, you know, I just got the Man with No Name Clint Eastwood trilogy or quadrilogy for $7.
Wow.
For $7 on DVD. Those movies are like, I mean,
but they didn't have
depending who you
Randy
talk
Newman.
to, they're way more of a classic. And it's 4 movies for $7. Like incredible classic films. You know, that'll you could see on anyone's like I don't know, top 100 list, even AFI's, you know, Good, Bad, and Ugly, stuff like that. And My Neighbor Totoro is $20. It's just, I don't see the justification, man. It's like
because they know you're gonna buy it.
I don't know.
There.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I did get suckered into it.
Well, there you go. Well, yeah.
So anyways, Akira.
So I just bring up Akira because they were talking about doing a movie, and I guess it pretty much got scrapped. But the director that wants to bring it, he's still fighting to bring it up. But it's really ironic because he doesn't really seem to respect the source material. And he's quoted saying that, I hope I can bring strong characters. In the original source material, I don't think the main characters are the protagonists. What I hope is to bring characters. Nobody's interesting. Tetsuo's interesting because weird shit happens to him, and Canada is so two-dimensional. That's part of the Japanese culture. They never have strong characters. They're using a way to move the other philosophy forward. So, and this is the guy that wants to make an Akira movie. Like, if that's your feelings on a movie that's pretty much beloved by just about anybody who's seen it, like, you should probably not be the person in charge of remaking it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but I mean, there was like a manga that predates that. You know,
The
film. And you watch the film, and it's like a fraction of what the entirety of the manga is. And the film just kind of sums it all up. You know, and it's barely over, an hour long? I don't know. I don't even actually know. Maybe it's 90 minutes. But regardless of the time, it's like, you know, it does enough to make it an exciting and fun film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, okay, yeah, maybe not Tetsuo, Kaneda is a little bit two-dimensional. But, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go by. It introduces you to, like, a cool motorcycle fight scene. You know, and you kind of get it. Well, not glamorizes, but you kind of get sold into the futuristic. You know, like the near futuristic. You know, like we're not too far off from this kind of future feel to it. And I don't know. To me, that was like a really fun part. Like, oh, Tokyo's in dismay because some crazy accident that happened 20 years ago.
By the year 2000, we'll all be riding those type of motorcycles.
Yeah, you can't. Once you hit 3,000 RPMs, like you can't go any lower, or the car will just stop. Like, wow, that's got to be really fast.
Yeah,
you know. Now I lost my train of thought. Damn it. So, anyways,
too many RPMs.
yeah. So there's not a whole lot to go by. You just like, yeah, these are cool teenage characters, like 14, 15 years old. And, you know, I would even argue against the whole two-dimensional thing because you see how, like, Kaneda was a tough kid and Tetsuo was kind of a crybaby when they met each other as orphans in the little orphanage that they were raised in. So, you know, they were always together, you know, and then this whole event happens where I don't even know exactly how he gets the powers, but, like, he just Tetsuo runs his bike into that psychic kid, and all of a sudden, you know, he's got superpowers.
Yeah.
And his brain almost explodes and all that other crazy stuff happens.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, and he's basically like Superman, just like in a matter of days. You know, he can't even handle the power. But, you know, the whole thing was like a friend trying to save another friend because he cares about him. And like at the heart, that's what it is. It's like, you know, you're they're friends no matter what, even though one's trying to kill the other for no real reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's just this self-indulged, like, oh, you just hate what I've become because I'm better than you now. Because the other one's jealousy, you know?
Yeah. The
Like,
tagline should have been like, "You're not ready for this jelly."
Yeah. You know, so I mean, there's you can find meaning in what you want to find. You know, whatever you're watching, you find your own meaning in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the System of a Down philosophy. You know, listen to our song, you find the meaning in deers getting ran over by cars.
Because we sure as hell don't know.
It's just Serge making up stuff and trying to sound profound.
Basically. Someone's going to find the depth, and we're going to ride that wave to stardom.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's like Akira, you know, stripped down. You know, it's just two friends at war with each other. You know, and that's really all you need to know. And it's a fun adventure for the, you know, however long it is, 90 minutes or whatever. It's just a fun movie, and to say this is like, oh, it's these boring two-dimensional characters, and it's like, oh, well, even with that dude saying that, I'm sure that's part of like a deal to make his own movie. You're like, you can make your movie, but we've been trying to make this movie here for like the last 6-7 years. You need to make this first before we fund this movie.
Kind of like the guy that did Battleship. It's like, well, we'll let you make Lone Survivor, but you got to make Battleship first. And
Yeah.
He's just like, okay.
I'll bite the bullet.
If I have to. I don't know. To me, like, because the worst part of, like, what he said is, like, okay, you can have his opinion on Akira, but to say, like, to not have strong characters as part of Japanese culture is just like, okay, that's just really asinine to make a statement like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, have you watched... Is that the only Japanese movie you've ever watched?
I know. Like, and why even start there? Like, just go back another 40 years to Akira Kurosawa's work, you know? Like, go back to Seven Samurai, go back to Kagemusha, or go fast forward into, you know, Harakiri. You know, these all great films. Even Battle Royale, that was a really fun movie. And you can't really say, like, the character
It's a
just...
ripoff of Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Or not, Hunger Games ripping off Battle Royale.
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
you were trolling at first.
But I mean, if you read the manga and stuff, it's an incredible series, and then even in the movie, it's like really fun. And like, I would argue that the characters aren't just two-dimensional.
Not at all. Like, the characters are a huge part of it because they're so memorable. I mean, the fact that one character who had such a small role ended up, like, being in Kill Bill. Because,
being cast as Go-Go in Kill Bill because she looks so evil.
Yeah, and, like, the other crazy one was supposed to be in it as well, but she had other, like, commitments.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Because every time I think of Battle Royale, I just think of the scene where the guy just, like, I think after they shoot him and he eats the cookie. That's just, for whatever reason, that's just the scene that sticks out the most to me. So yeah, that's how I want to go down.
Yeah, exactly. And to me,
Sugar in the
that
veins.
shows character depth. It's like,
Right.
there's people that just die in the face of adversity, and this motherfucker eats a cookie.
It's like, yeah. Some people just die when they take a bullet to the chest. This guy eats a cookie, and then he dies. So obviously, this call it Sarah guy has no idea what he's talking about. But
It's probably Colette Serra.
I don't care.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's pretty much all we got for the show today. You know, we really appreciate you joining us.
No problem.
Yeah, I just want to tell people where they can find you. You know, the Facebook and Twitter and all that jazz.
Oh, all that jazz. Well, it was fab being here, and if you want more of my hijinks, ceremonycosplay.com is my website, and Ceremony Cosplay at Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram for all my crazy pictures and mischief that I get up to, and on Twitter at Crayola Kid, Crayola with a K.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll post all this stuff on the website as well when the podcast gets posted on Wednesday.
Yeah. For those that are listening live, the podcast will be posted. Oh, you already said Wednesday, so I guess I don't have to reiterate that. Well, in case you didn't hear what he said, it's gonna be posted Wednesday. And also for you that are listening that aren't familiar with Ceremony, I posted a blog with some of her cosplay pics, which also has all the links mentioned. So you want to check her out, see all her awesome. I posted the Wasp, which is one of my favorite Wasp ones, which I meant to tell you earlier. And then
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also the Polaris, and then the Psylocke is awesome. I love your little, like, Psy blades. And those are really cool.
Yes, yeah. I like it's too bright in the con, but they do light up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love it. So I'll hopefully have some stuff that can follow what you guys are used to and hopefully have some new favorites.
Cool.
Sounds
Also,
fantastic.
I know there's some cosplayers that we've talked to. They're kind of like not edgy or like defensive, but they like to keep it a secret. Is there any like a hint or anything like to some of your future cosplays that you'll be presenting maybe at a Phoenix Comic Con soon?
Yeah. I have one that's going to be a first sci-fi costume, first video game costume. It's going to be from Zelda.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it's my favorite game franchise. So I was like, I've got to do it justice, and I've narrowed it down, and I'm super excited for that.
Sweet.
And I'm doing another group cosplay. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of. You saw my Pluto, but I was with all of the other Sailor Scouts, and we even had a Queen Barrel with us.
Nice.
So it was really great. So these same group of girls wanted to get together for PCC and do like weird alt twisted Disney characters.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So I will be steampunk Princess Jasmine.
Oh,
Nice.
sweet. That's something to look forward to.
So yeah, pictures will be in abundance of everything when they are completed, so you kind of know what to look for. And I hope they come out ASAP. So yeah.
Well,
Very cool.
definitely keep an eye out. Definitely excited for that. That sounds really cool.
Perfect. Thanks.
I'm excited for the Zelda cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I wish we had Beetle here, because Beetle is the huge Zelda fan.
Yeah, he'd be sitting here like guessing. Like, is it gonna be Link? Is it gonna be Sheik? Is it gonna be damn it, the elf
It's
girls?
no one. Well, you can tell if he listens to the recap on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Character is female, so no gender bending.
Okay.
They are humanoid.
So no chickens.
No chickens, no cuckoos. Yeah. And this character was introduced the very first game, the very first Legend of Zelda, and is in every game up to Skyward Sword.
Damn.
I feel like we need the Jeopardy music so people can try and guess.
Yeah. I feel like I should know this.
We're gonna make that trivia for the next podcast if anyone can figure that out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right
Yeah.
then. I like it.
Awesome. I think that's a good way to close it out. But yeah, be sure to check out Ceremony, Cruella Kid on Twitter, and was it Ceremony Cosplay on Facebook?
Instagram.
Also, yeah, Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Ceremony Cosplay, and Crayola Kid at Twitter.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
for those that think it's ceremony and not Sarah-mony,
Yeah.
it's SARA space MONI.
Yeah. You put an H at the end of my name, I'm going to have to cut you down
Oh.
With a-
because H's are for chumps.
You get a side blade to the throat. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put an H.
Well, that's what you'd like to say, but you're just got a side.
yeah, right, yeah. All you say is, ah.
Yeah. You'll get a really bad migraine, and then the worst will come.
It's only the beginning. Awesome. All right, well, thanks again for joining us. We'll definitely have to have you back on. Maybe have some Zelda talk at the time.
Yeah, I'm all ready for it.
Awesome. I think I'm gonna brush up on my X-Men the Animated Series, and I'm gonna quiz you on that as well.
I'm ready. It's karaoke, not even trivia anymore.
I know. Monotone.
All right, well, with that, this is Prometheus,
This is Agamemnon.
And this is Ceremony.
and this has been Straight
Outta
Austin. we're like, wait for it. You're gonna say it.
We probably should have prompted that.
Luis, now everyone together.
Nope, we wing it because that's what the people are here for.
Yeah, that's true. Do
All right.
it live.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all later.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye to one and all.
All right. I think I got this saved. And then Spreaker,
Alrighty.
which no
Think
one ever
we're-
listens on.
Oh, wait, I think we're still technically...